Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Today's video is going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about defending our homestead, defending our preps, and taking care of our family. We hear scenarios that could cause societal issues, collapse, unrest. And we get this question a lot. Well, how are you going to defend from situations that may propose danger to your home, to your supplies, to your preps, to your farm, to your homestead? Well, today we're going to talk about some of those things, and ultimately, hopefully none of this will take place. But if it does, we want to be ready. So we're going to talk about 10 things today to secure what you have and what you've worked so hard for, homesteading and prepping, making sure your family is safe. This video starts right now. First and foremost, it's going to be security systems. So I want to break this down in two forms. Number one would be a monitoring system, a way that you can watch your doors, watch your windows with some kind of monitoring, meaning you can have motion. All of a sudden you could have your doors open and it automatically comes to your phone. It automatically sends an alarm to the police or to the fire. Now, this is some stuff kind of like ADT. I mean, it can be all kinds of brands. There's local companies. Ours is done through a local company that is monitoring our home, that has a system that you have a keypad to. Is awesome. It also has a battery back bank on it. So if all of a sudden the power goes out, you still have some battery there. Now here's the second part of that. We have a secondary, what you would consider a very low economic, cheap version also on the doors and windows. What that is they are based on little small like watch batteries. You usually can pick these up at any box store or order them online, but what it does, it gives you a low-tech version of door ringers and window ringers. The importance of that is that way if someone tries to break in your home and they hear that noise, not only is your big monitoring service gonna catch it, your smaller little thing is gonna ring off, and all of a sudden it's gonna make people think, oh my gosh, it's gonna make people nervous and probably run out. So this would help us in situations such as, home invasions or home burglaries. This is just one of 10, so now let's go to the second one. Secondly, what goes along with that is a camera system. So we have a camera system that we can use our iPads, our phones, and also a monitor inside. We're filming our house from every angle so that way we see what's going on and recording it. No offense to you, I don't know if I want to show you where my cameras are, but what I am saying is you can buy this system wired or wireless. I'm making this two-part because I believe you need to have one or both of these systems. A wired option would allow those cameras to work strictly on a hardwire system to where it does not need wireless capabilities and it runs off electricity. On the flip side, say for instance the power goes out and you need to make sure that you still have video capabilities. Well, the wireless system works that way too. So we have a both option plan to where we're getting a wired version of watching and monitoring our house, but then we also have a wireless capability to also video our house. So number one and number two really deal with home invasions and just monitoring. There's no safety protocol other than knowing what can happen, and hopefully it will help people maybe not want to break in when they hear a sound, or maybe if they see cameras or they see signs. I would make sure that anytime you have a monitoring service or a video service that is at your home, you need to have signage, and also you need to have little stickers all over your doors and windows. Here's the key. If all of a sudden you don't have those things, go online and still buy these 24-hour video surveillance stickers and signs, and also put them on your doors. I would challenge you to have the video system and also the monitoring service, or your low-tech version where at least when you open the door the sirens go off, but at least get the signs to represent that. It does help kind of resist the fact that people may not want to invade your home if they think they're on camera. Now, this is in a situation of just simple theft and simple safety. This is not a collapse situation. So now let's jump into a little bit more in-depth versions of what we're talking about. So number 3 and 4 go together. So we're gonna do a little walking. Now again, I'm not gonna show you everything in defense of our home because that puts me in jeopardy, but I am going to show you different parts of it that hopefully can help you. So let's go to the doors first. Number 3 would be securing and reinforcing your doors. Now this may look different depending on if you live in a home or you live in an apartment or you live in a rented property. Can you reinforce it by adding a second door? Can you reinforce it by simply adding some kind of cross bracing? Can you reinforce it by, in a collapse situation, literally screwing the door to the actual molding kits that's holding your door in to the frame itself? I know that's crazy, but in a bug-in situation where you're trying to make sure no one can get in, remember, you still got to get out at some point in time. So I think it'd be wise to make sure you have something that you can go in and out of, but can also reinforce. So I'm going to show you my system here. Now we have several doors, but I'm going to show you just one today. We built, we were inspired by hurricane seasons in our area, and we built a double insulated door. So this is one of our doors back here, but this is also a second reinforced door. Now this reinforced door is also connected to the frame, and it is welded to the frame. So you're not going to just take something and easily break this. This is also very thick. It's actually triple insulated wood on here, and all the hinges are not only screwed, they are welded to this framed piece that we originally talked about. Now, that's how it's closed off. How would we secure it? We have these built. So we took door kits and basically made cross bracing for it. So it comes down, drops in, and goes across both doors. So now you've taken a bifurcating door that you are now connected to this one, and it goes through that hinge there too, and you have reinforced your doors. Now this could look totally different for someone else. Say you don't have that capability, you're in a rented piece of property situation, or maybe your door, there's no way to attach a secondary door. Then you may want to come inside the inside door on your frame and put 2 iron U's, basically U hangers, and then put where you can put a 2x4 across it. Then you are cross bracing. Now is that going to hold everybody out for all time? No, but what it will do, it will allow you to get to that door safely, make proper changes, and make sure you can defend that door if you ever needed to. So reinforcing your doors is number 3. Again, walking around to our other side of the house, number 4 would be reinforcing your windows. Now this is something we worried about for years. It is something that bothered us. We didn't know how to do it and didn't know how to be safe with our kids inside. So you hear about things like reinforcing your windows, and they make these little universal style burglar bars. Well, burglar bars are great. However, burglar bars can be very expensive, and they also can be dangerous if there's not some kind of way to slip out of them. Most of the ones were connected on the outside, and they were bolted in or are basically built into the frame to where you could not get out if a fire broke out. So that's dangerous if you have children. We thought about the universal burglar bars, but to be honest with you, they were made out of like cast steel, and they just didn't hold up, and they just didn't seem like they would actually really take care of us if all of a sudden a scenario like a crap hit the fan kind of situation happened and these windows need to be defended. So we researched for years, and we found these, and these are awesome. So these are reinforced windows. This is a steel grade mesh that is attached to the inner panel of the window that is also using a secondary frame. So you have the window underneath here, and if you hear this, it looks just like a screen. So it's very discreet. It doesn't make you feel like you're in a prison. It looks aesthetically good, but what this is a stainless steel mesh. This steel mesh or stainless steel mesh, depending on which one you're buying, can withstand pressure. Now we will link the company that we bought these from. We're not affiliated with them, but we do think they have an amazing product. We've seen videos where people would take hammers and try to just hammer this in, and they can never penetrate the glass. After a good time frame where somebody's beating this thing senseless, if you hadn't gotten to your home or hadn't gotten to the situation where you can take care of this window, eventually they will get in. It's just like any other situation. Eventually they could cut this. If they ever made a hole in it, they could shoot through it several times and finally get to the window. But it is allowing you to have a lot more time and a lot better access to get to where you are safe or where you can defend it with no issue. We have been completely satisfied with these reinforced windows. It's a screen mesh that looks good, but has a very good safety feature on it, and it takes care of our family. Of course, number 5 would be our firearms. You have ammo, you have other ways such as bats, lead pipes, chains, nunchucks. I don't care. You can use a sword for all I care. Now, all these other things are meant for having people not be able to penetrate your home or come into your home. But it comes to a point where if you have to defend your preps and your homestead, how are you going to do that? Are you going to do it with a bow and arrow? Are you going to do it with firearms and ammo? Are you going to do it with a bat and lead pipe? Are you going to do it with some awesome nunchucks that will allow you to be on the offense and not just on the defense? So make sure you are making stockpiles into, if it's ammo and firearms, we talked about this in one video a few days ago about having enough ammo and enough firearms. If it's bows and arrows, if maybe it's having several forms of knives. I mean, you may be an awesome knife thrower. I don't know. I'm just saying, have some kind of defense mechanism there. For me, I'm going to look at firearms because I've got distance and then also I've got close proximity. It allows me to have a little bit of a leg up situation if I'm having to defend my homestead. So number 6, we're going back indoors. We're talking about a battery bank. Now we have a Blue Eddy and a Pecron system. Both of those are solar generators, but also battery banks to where we have power access inside without having to go out and run a propane generator or without having the grid. Now the importance to this is if all of a sudden the crap hits the fan and we lose the grid, all of a sudden the crap hits the fan and people are saying, hey, they're saying stay indoors, it's dangerous out here. If you live in the city, especially, you need a battery bank. But if you even live in areas like us where you're a lot more rural, you need some way to run your systems to get water to your home, to cook inside, to plug up phones or satellites or radio devices to be able to make contact with other people and communicate. It allows you to have some kind of power inside your home still locked in to where you don't have to worry about going outside for a period of time. Now these battery backups will have to either be plugged in or they will have to be recharged with solar. So eventually you will have to go out. So the bigger battery bank, the better. So I'm going to link the two that we have. There's several companies out there that offer battery banks, but it would be good to have to be able to say, if I'm in a bug-in situation and I can't go out and we have civil unrest and societal collapse, we have some way of getting things charged, maybe some food cooked, maybe simply charging our phones and laptops to maybe make communication with someone else. Number 7, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here, is going to be landscaping. Now this is 2 parts as well. If you live in a home and you're maybe in suburban areas or areas where people know where you live, having some kind of landscaping barriers are good. So under every window, around every door or every entrance, maybe higher windows, you plant thistles, you plant holly bushes, you plant some kind of bush that can be kind of prickly and hard to get through. You'd be surprised by having some of those barriers there, especially when it comes to natural barriers, is not a bad thing. I've seen people plant ivy and ivy cover up certain parts of the house and people think it's poison ivy so they won't touch it. Now in a situation where it gets real serious, this is what I'm thinking. You see how open this is? Every point of every access of my home, when we built it to a point where I can see our land. I can see the dangers of people coming to our land. I can see every road access. I can see every exit and entrance to any access to my home. Why is that important? That means I've got the leg up to know what's coming to my home. Now, why is that a good thing? If I can see every aspect, then it allows me to know what is going to take place or who is coming to my home or how many of those people are coming to my home. My cameras are facing that way, but also my eyes can be facing that way. Now the key to this is making sure that if you are in a situation where you're tight in the woods or you're in suburban America, you may not have that much luxury to be able to look out and see long distance. But if you don't, then you go back to putting special landscaping and barriers and maybe even bamboo style fencing, any kind of landscaping that you can do close to your home. But in some situations, if you can clear out a spot where every entrance is covered, such as can you view every aspect of your home or where your entrances are, then you will be able to see what's going on and what takes place. So making sure you can see your property from front to back, entrance and exits, or you are putting barriers using landscaping around your edges to make it very hard to get into windows, making it very hard to get into doors. Here's the second part to this. We do the same thing on the inside. So if you have a dangerous situation where someone can still get inside, if they have to go through these prickly bushes or have to go through some kind of bamboo or poison ivy, when they get inside, they need to have a hard way to not just step inside your home. You need to make sure that your windows have some blockage, some big dressers, some big furniture in the way to where they can't just break into your home and then just step in. you have to make it hard. The whole purpose is not, can your house be impenetrable? Yes, you want your fortress impenetrable, but if it's not impenetrable, that you make it so hard to where somebody can't get in or they struggle getting in, it gives you time to get to that spot to defend your home. A little bit level loaded, bury your windows using landscape. On top of that, secondarily, make it where every place that you have to defend, you can see for a long distance, making sure you give yourself the advantage and not the people who are wanting to get to your home. Say you live in a subdivision that's gated, that's a good thing. If you live in an area that you can fence, that's a good thing. Now we have barbed wire fencing, and it's really for the fact of our cattle. It's really not for the fact of protecting us. And don't get me wrong, I mean, you know, if you don't know how to climb through barbed wire, it can pretty much tear you up. But you need to have some kind of fencing and some kind of protection around your property. Now at all points, you may not can defend every aspect of your area. Like my homestead may be 40 acres, and there's times that I may not can defend all of that. In a situation where crap hits the fan, I'm maneuvering everything to what we call zone 1. I think of it in permaculture style with gardening and building an ecosystem, but ultimately everything that I could get close to the house, I won't close the house so I can keep an eye on it. But if I can't, then I want to make sure that I can fence in and put gates up wherever I can. Now this can be very expensive, so some of this would be hard to do, especially if you have a big piece of property. So use natural fencing. Again, I go back to bamboo, I go back to holly bushes, I go back to big thistles and thickets of woods that are hard to get through. There's a slum on one part of our property that you can't get through. No vehicle can pass it. No human without some great waders could do it either. So there may be areas that you can't defend, your natural elements can, or your fencing can. So use nature, also use fencing, also use gates. You want a protection around your property, and so you're building this little inside area that you can focus on. Next would be a dog, making sure you have some kind of dog as a protection. Say it's an inside dog. It may be just a warning and alarm. If they hear something, they sense something. Remember, dogs have a better sense of people and ways that they can smell or see people quicker than you can. So maybe it's just a warning for you where they can start barking where you know to, hey, look outside, what's going on. It may be an outside dog like ours where it protects our property. I know if my dog beelines in a certain way, I need to put my focus, I need to hear where she's barking, I need to look and see where she's going, because I want to see if there is a danger to my animals, I want to see if there's a danger to our home, I want to see if there's a danger period that I need to be focused on. So having a dog of some sort is not a bad thing. No matter how big or little, a dog's sense of smell and sight and keen awareness is going to be better than yours as a human. So by having them, it gives you, again, a leg up on what is going on in your property or what is going on in your home or what way you need to be focused on to see what that dog is seeing that you're not. So say for instance, you're in a situation where crap has hit the fan, you've defended all you can, you're either bugging in and you're worried about what's coming, it's too close for you to do anything about it, or you're bugging out and you're having to get out of Dodge. I tell you, we talked about the defense and talked about our armor and things like that to be on the offense. Now let's talk about a little defense too, about ourselves. Now this is my bulletproof vest. This is from AT Armor. I have a link to them below. It also has a discount code. It's not that it's giving me any money, but it's allowing you to get a savings there. So I'll link in the description the AT Armor discount code. It's for their whole store. But for us, we like them because you're getting the most bang for your buck. Their website will tell you everything about the plates, some that are heavier, some that are lighter weight. The lighter weight they are, the more they cost. The heavier that you can tote in your vest, the more money you're going to save. So me and Aiden's vest, we have these here. These plates are awesome. Not only does it have the plates, it has the vest to go along with it. So check out AT Armor. But this is a game changer. When you talk about your safety and you're having to defend your home, having the offensive weapons is key, but having ways that you can make sure that you're safe is just as important. So using these bulletproof vests are good to have. It is something that you really need to get serious about. We're in a very volatile time in our world, and hopefully we'll never use these. Hopefully I will never take this out of my storage and prepping supply. But to know I have it is key. Last thing we want to talk about, number 10, would be lighting. Taking care of your lighting situation. Now, yes, flashlights, LED lights, all those are good. But what I'm really talking about is security lighting. Now, two forms. One is hardwired into your home, making sure you are spotlighting all corners and eaves of your home, making sure you have porch lights on, and making sure you have timed lights on inside. So for instance, we have bulbs inside our home that work strictly off a timer. When we're not home, you won't know it because I'm gonna have maybe a radio on. Whatever car I'm not in, I'm gonna have the other one parked right here at the front, and I'm gonna make sure those lights come on at a certain time. I want to make sure that I look like I'm home no matter if you know I'm home or not. That gives me a leg up. Not only that, those security lightings, if it's infrared lighting or if it's motion lighting, when somebody tries to walk or get close to your home, those lights come on. Maybe you're just lighting up your home where you can see and your cameras can catch any and everything that is happening. People say, well, what if the power goes out? That's okay too, because now you can buy solar lighting, you can buy motion detected solar lighting. You're not using it unless all of a sudden the motion comes on. So having solar lighting, having solar security lighting is key too. It's just like the video system, it's just like the security system. The lights are just gonna go along with that. Sometimes our defense is the simple lighting, the sounds, and making people scared to say, I don't know if I wanna go in this home. That's good, that's what you want. The dog can help with that as well. Other things such as the body armor, other things such as the ammo and the firearms, other things such as the reinforcement of the windows and doors are when we're talking, okay, now we've got to defend. But some things are proactively saying, I want to make sure these people know I'm home, and lighting is a key. We have security lighting, we have motion lighting, we have solar lighting. We want to cover every basis. Now, does that mean we just light up our home? No, we light up our barns. We light up our shops. We have motion, solar, we have electrical, we have every option we can have when it comes to viewing every part of our property and lighting up every part of our property. If you're going to break in here, I want to make sure that I can see you, or you think I can see you, or something is catching you on camera, or the cameras or the alarms are catching you. So when we talk about defending our home, we need to make sure that we are defending our home.